All right, Shalom, Kalalal, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash. And all honors to the apostles and elders of Great Milson of GMS that I do learn this truth from. To you I say Shalom, and Shalom unto the hopeful elect. This is Brother Gabar Ya'Allah. All right, man, so I had to change my name, so I'm no longer Sons of Zion anymore. It's come to my attention that there's a group out there that already has that name, and I don't want to be affiliated with that group. So to avoid confusion, I changed my name as a new guy in this thing, because I'm on my own by myself. So I'm just gonna go by the name of Voice of Jacob. That's my name now, and I'm also gonna be changing the name of my other channel, which I did already. That's the camp channel, me going on the highways and edges. So yeah, I'm Voice of Jacob now. No longer SOZ. That's an actual group that's out there, so I'm not affiliated with them. Wasn't trying to steal their name or anything like that. So yes, all right. So anyway, that's that. So I'm just gonna go into this article here. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I'm just gonna skim through it, and it's from Newsweek.com. Link will be in the description, Lord willing. It says the 2025 American Dream will cost you $5 million. So you need to be a millionaire. You need $5 million in the bank to live the American dream now. That's insane. You know, that at one point that wasn't the case. You can live good with just having a job, man. And all your needs will be met. And you only needed one person working. You know, that would be the father, the man. He would go out and work. And then the wife, she would stay home, take care of the house and kids. And all your needs are met, man. Hey, but that's no longer the case. So, hey, in the year 2025, if you still believe that the American dream is real, you are fucking dreaming, man. But here it is. You'll have these false prophets and these leaders that are out here, which are false prophets too, these politicians and these different men in Israel that are not teaching the 100% truth. They'll tell you that you're supposed to prosper in America, and that the American dream is still attainable. And what they should be telling you is that America is going down, and it's going to go down in flames. There is no more American dream. It's really an American nightmare. And no, the majority of you people out here, including you Israelites, now you're waking up to that fact. Some of you are waking up, but it's going to hit you harder when all hell breaks loose. But $5 million, that's insane, man. That is insane. So it says here, retirement. In order for you to live the American dream while being in retirement, you need $1.6 million. $1.6 million. Okay, so it says here, almost half of Americans don't have any retirement savings at all. Even those in the middle class are falling behind, with average savings around $134,000, which may not be enough to ensure financial security in retirement. For example, if a 25-year-old saved just $560 a month and earned 7% interest, they could have $1.6 million by age 67. Yeah, but he's a 25-year-old. You know, he's young, man. You know, he's full of testosterone, and she is full of estrogen. So they want to go out there and have a good time, have sex, and you know, eat good food, and do all that stupid shit, right? And, you know, enjoy pleasurable things. But that's it's attainable, but are you going to really do that? Come on, man. You got to go out there and have fun. And $560 a month, that's a lot. Anyways, healthcare. So you need roughly 400K. 400K just for healthcare alone. So it says Investopedia calculates that from ages 22 to 85, the average adult will spend $414,208 on health-related expenses, including insurance, hospital care, medications, and long-term care. It's ridiculous. Home ownership, oh, that's a big thing. So yeah, you need pretty much $1 million. For most Americans, owning a home is the most tangible sign of financial success. True. Yeah. But you know, people don't own anymore. People rent, or they live in tents and RVs. Right? You can't own a home out here. You gotta rent. Even landlords are having issues with owning homes. And they're the landlords, man. They have tenants, and then the tenants are paying them, and they're still having problems owning the home. Now it says 415,000 in 2025, and 30-year fixed mortgages averaging 6.69%. Homeowners face nearly double the purchase price over time when including interest, maintenance, and HOA. Yeah, so homeowners association fees. Yeah, so that's no longer attainable. Who has this much money? Like, come on. Raising children in college, so you need pretty much $1 million, man. So Investopedia calculates $650,000 to cover childcare, transportation, meals, and other expenses, with college costs exceeding $230,000 for 2 children. Wow. And you shouldn't even be sending your kids to college or university, because college and university is a scam, unless you're going to specialize in something, or if you go into a trade, right? But these colleges and universities, they're known for handing out useless degrees. You know, your kid ends up getting that useless degree, and then they finish school with debt. So they're starting their life with debt. That's not right, man. So that's a waste of money. But yes, you need pretty much $1 million to raise children and to put them through college. That's insane, man. That's fucked. So it says purchasing new cars. Yes, everybody wants a nice car. You know, there's people, man, who don't even own cars. They don't even have a car, man, or they got one car. So you know, car ownership, you need this much. So it says here, financing 2 new vehicles every 10 years for a lifetime comes to $900,346, factoring insurance, maintenance, and payments. There you go. Then you got the cost of rising car prices and insurance. Yeah, insurance is always going up. It goes up every year, especially if you live in a bad city where there's a lot of accidents, where the premiums are high. So that sucks. Annual vacations. Yeah, and you know, some people don't even get to go on vacation. Some families don't, because they're too broke. Well, this is what you need. Annual vacations, man. $180,000. Yo, I remember my family went on vacation to Trinidad, man. It was an awful experience. After that, we never went on any other vacation after that. Yeah, man, it was terrible. You have to fork out all that money, and then the trip is just bad. And that's what we're seeing too. Like, these destinations that these people go to is just bad. You know, now people are getting robbed. You know, they go on these resorts, the service isn't good. You go on these cruises, the service is bad. Right, it's not good anymore, and you got to spend all this money. But I remember that, man. My mother, she took us to Trinidad, my sister and I, and we just didn't have a good experience. We met our family and everything, but it just wasn't a good experience. My mom's family was just miserable because they're under the curses, and they're angry because they couldn't travel out of their own country, but then they saw us travel, so they were fucking upset. So that's the fucking curses, man. You see. But overall, man, Trinidad is a beautiful place, but you know, some people, they don't even get to experience vacations, and when they do, they don't even get the full benefit or the full experience because of the things that they have to go through, like certain barriers and things of that nature, man. Anyways, owning pets, that's true. So lifetime cost for 1 dog and 1 cat average $39,000, including food, veterinary care, insurance, boarding. You see? Weddings. Wow. Yeah, a lot of people now, they're not getting married either, which you know, in this truth, you're not supposed to have a wedding like that, you know, which means you know, having the state being involved in your marriage, you know, getting a license and things of that nature. You should just stick to common law. But yeah, man, you gotta fork out at least $40,000 at least to have a good wedding. And if you don't do that, man, the woman's gonna hate you. That sucks. And everybody's gonna look at you weird. That sucks. And by the way, the wedding is for the woman, not for the man, because the man could care less. I could marry a woman in a t-shirt for all I fucking care, because I understand what marriage is about, you know, from a biblical standpoint. You know, marriage, what constitutes marriage is really the sex. You know, when man and woman, they join together and they become one flesh. But yeah, you gotta be joined onto the state. Now the state is in your marriage, so it's three people. You got your woman, yourself, and then you got the state involved in your marriage. That's off. And by the way, you're not supposed to be putting on a ring either. That's a Roman custom. You can go look it up. And by the way, when you marry a woman and go through the ceremony, she's supposed to be a virgin. A lot of these women, they ain't virgins. So getting married is a waste of fucking time, and it's a waste of money. Because that bitch, she don't deserve it. And maybe you as the man, you don't deserve it. Maybe you don't, because there's a lot of people out here, they're getting married, and they don't really deserve to be married, man. By the way they act. By the way they act and what they're doing in life. But anyways, man. So yeah, the cost of the dream. So this is it. This is everything you need. And it tallies up to $5 million, man. That's insane. Alright, so let's get this. This is Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 25. And it says, I have heard what the prophets said, that prophesy lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed, I have dreamed. That's right. And your false prophets are going to say that. I have a dream, I have a dream. And that dream is coming from their own heart. And that's your politicians, you certain Israelite leaders in Israel that are not teaching the 100% truth. This is you prophesying lies, like Trump, MAGA, make America great again, Obama, change. And when they said those things are just getting worse. That's all to get you to believe in the American dream, telling you that it's gonna last forever when it's really not. I have a dream. Oh yeah, Martin Luther King. Yeah, I have a dream that we can all get along. We could all be equal. Black man and a white man pissing beside each other in a toilet. All that shit. I have a dream. Well, that's not the dream according to Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Because the Lord has his own plans, man. And that's what the true prophets are going to be talking about. Hey, man, they are the Lord's mouthpiece, man. And they're going to be relaying the message of Yahweh Bashem El Shai. That's pursuant to Isaiah 8 and 20. But anyways, it goes on to say, verse 26, how long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yea, they are the prophets of the deceit of their own heart. That's right, it's coming out of their own heart, their own minds. Hey, man, and we're not supposed to come out of our own mind, because our heart bring forth wickedness and vanity, man. Now, matter of fact, let me get this. This is Isaiah chapter 55, verse 7. I will start verse 6. Seek ye the Lord Yahweh while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto Yahweh, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our power, for he will abundantly pardon. So you're supposed to forsake your own ways, man. And that's going into the wicked. But unrighteous man, his thoughts. So you're not supposed to dabble into your thoughts, your vain thoughts. Because men on this earth, man, let's be real. And I remember this in a precept. I read it. I think it was in Proverbs. It says, all men are miserable, and the thoughts of men are vain. So you're not supposed to believe in your thoughts. And that's another thing, man. You can't control what you think. A lot of things can come to your mind that are wicked too. You're not supposed to believe in that. Right? So, hey, that's what these false prophets are doing. That's what they're pushing out here. And they're pushing out lies that come out of their thoughts, man. And that's off. So you're supposed to just stay in the scriptures. Now it says, and let him return unto the Lord Yahweh, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our power, for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than yours, your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. You see? So hey, the ways of the Lord are very, very high. It's higher, man. So what we're thinking is really on a low level. All this stuff, the American dream, you investing in all this stuff, in Bitcoin and cashless money or electronic money, things of that nature, the MOTB, all of that is vain, man. That's low level. You wanted to live the American dream. Yeah, so that's low level. compared to what the Lord is thinking and what he has in store for us. The riches of Egypt can't compare to the riches that we're going to receive in the kingdom. And that's what the Lord wants to give us, man. You know, with the kingdom comes everlasting life, man, and powers, man. But people just want to live the American dream and have a stupid shit life in hell, man. That's just, wow, man. Wow. All right, so let's finish up here. That's it. Okay, that's all I want from here. So let's go back. Here we go. Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 26. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yea, they are the prophets of the deceit of their own heart, which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal. The prophet that hath a dream, let him tell a dream, and he that hath my word, let him speak my word faithfully. Right? True prophet is going to speak the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And he's going to prophesy against countries and against great kingdoms. He's going to prophesy of evil, pestilence, and war. You know, things that are bad. He's going to prophesy against wickedness, man. And America is wicked. So a true prophet, man, isn't going to say, oh, you can, you know, the American dream is attainable. Yeah, you should do this. America is going to live forever. No, the prophet is going to be against America. Let me get this. This is Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries. Yeah, prophets of old. And the prophets of old are here on the earth today again in the reincarnation. You know where they're going to be at? They're going to be on the highways and hedges, lifting up their voice like a trumpet, prophesying the downfall of this wicked kingdom, man. They're out there, starting with Great Millstone and the men on down in these different camps that are teaching the 100% truth to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai standard, that is, right? So it says, thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. You see that? Many countries, great kingdoms. Isn't America a great kingdom? So the man of the Lord, the prophet, is going to be talking against America, man. Talking about America's wickedness, talking about America's evil, talking about America's wicked rulers, going into the atrocities that the rulers of America have committed against the Lord's chosen people. You tribes, man. Because there is mass genocide on this place. There is slavery. There was violence. Right? All that took place over here in America. This land was stolen. By who? Esau, Edom, the devil, man. Of war and of evil and of pestilence. Hey, and that's what the prophet is telling you. He's telling you that war is coming, evil is coming, and that you're about to receive pestilence, man. Destruction. Verse 9, the prophet which prophesies the peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known, that Yahweh hath truly sent him. You see that? And you're going to know who the true prophets are. And you're going to know when all hell breaks loose, right? When all hell breaks loose, and when the word is fulfilled, you're going to realize that they were on point the whole time. You know, you're going to realize that when it's too late. Too late. So yeah, man. This is Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, they speak not according to this word. It is because there is no light in them. That's right. So yeah. The prophet speaks in conjunction with the scriptures, with the word of the Lord. And they're going into the law and to the testimony. They're going into the divine law, which is the 613 laws, and also the testimony, going into the testimony of the prophets and their own testimony of what they see going on in these modern biblical times. That is linked to the word, of course. You know, and you know, when it says testimony, they're actually going out there and giving a testimony. They're standing up and hitting the pavement. They're standing on the podium, publishing videos, week in and week out. That's the testimony too, right? And also the prophets, man, they're supposed to go into the testimony of what was written, because the scriptures says the scriptures was written aforetime for our learning. So they got to go into the testimony of the prophets and bring it out to the people and compare it to what's going on today. A real prophet is going to do that, man. Right? They're not going to go into vain speeches telling you that America is good, No, man, the prophet is really in the house of mourning, man, not in the house of mirth. He's of woes and sorrows, man. And he ain't happy. Prophets are not happy, man. Prophets are actually upset. Prophets are sad. And, you know, certain prophets, man, they don't really want to do the work. But the Spirit of the Lord is in them to do it all the time. But really, sometimes, man, when you read the scriptures, some of the prophets got discouraged too. You know, prophets ain't happy. prophets are not happy, man. So yeah, here it is. So it is because there is no light in them. That's right. They have no truth. They're full of darkness. Donald Trump is full of darkness. Mark Carney, he's full of darkness. The Rothschilds, they're full of darkness. Because they're not coming with the laws, statutes, and commandments, man. The truth. The dark as hell. Darkness. Alright, so. Oh yeah, this was Jeremiah 17. You know, this ties into Isaiah 55 and 7. You know, forsaking, the wicked forsaking his way and the unrighteous man his thoughts. You can't trust your thoughts. And you have to stay in the scriptures because your heart is very wicked and deceitful. So this is Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, Yahweh, search the rein, or I search the heart, I try the reins, even to give every man according to his way and according to the fruit of his doings. Right? And you reap what you sow. Right? So, yes, man, the heart is deceitful above all things. And that's going into your mind, because the word heart in the Hebrew means lob, which is going into your thinking, your mind. And your mind can trick you. It can play tricks on you, man. You know, it can play tricks on you. Tell you things that, tell you that things are good when it isn't good. You know, your mind actually lies to you. And desperately wicked. Who can know it? Yeah, that's right. Because, you know, your thoughts are vanity. They're vain. Because you're in this flesh. Romans 8 and 20. The creature was subject to vanity. Right? Not willingly, though. Unwillingly. Who can know it? And the Lord knows us. He knows all our thoughts. He knows what we're going to do. And you see that in the scriptures, man. He knew what the Israelites were going to do. And we are the Israelites coming back. And we went off. And guess what? We're going to get judged. And we're going to come back to our heritage. So he knows. And that's why it's important for you to stay in the scriptures. Because you're really reading about who you are. And the Lord knows you best. Right? Okay, so this is Haggai chapter 1 verse 6. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. And that's the American dream today. You live check to check, paycheck to paycheck, and you can't own anything. And that's exactly what they want. They want you to be a slave. Klaus Schwab said it years ago when he owned the WEF, but he stepped down. He said, you will own nothing and be happy. And this is it. Now you need $5 million to enjoy the American dream. Right? Just to own something. Just to own a home, to own a car, to own your children and to enjoy them, you know. You need $5 million in America today. That's a damn shame, man. But hey, it has to play out. So yeah, you're living the dream, all right. And I remember when I was working at this job a few years ago, I used to work with men that were older. They were up in age. They were like born in like the 50s, and they're just getting ready to retire, right? And some of them couldn't retire because they're too broke. And every day when they would come into work and you say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Are you ready? And they'll say, yeah, man, I'm living the dream. And obviously they're being sarcastic. They're just telling you, look, man, I'm just fucking getting by, and I'm not living the dream. This is fucking bullshit. This is fucking bullshit. So, hey, people are already awoken to the fact that they're not going to own anything, and they're not living the dream, and they've been robbed. They've been robbed of the American dream. And you know who you have to blame? You have to blame yourself and the so-called white man. Especially for you Edomites, man. He robbed you of experiencing capitalism and the American dream. Right? A lot of you Edomites are broke because of these other white people, man. These rich elite whites. That's why you earneth wages to put into bag with holes. As soon as you get your check, your check has all these taxes, these tax deductions, man. So you're not even getting the money that you really deserve. The government takes some of your money, and then when you get your money, you finally get it after it has been taxed. You get it. Now you got to pay your bills. You got to buy your groceries, and then you don't even have any money left to save. Can't even do anything you can't even you don't even have money left over for leisure, man. It's messed up. So okay, this is it. This is another one here. So this is Hebrews chapter 11 verse 24, and it says, by faith Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. You see that? So this is just going into the ammo of a prophet, right? The prophet is in the house of mourning. He's not in the house of mirth, and he doesn't want to have anything to do with a wicked kingdom, right? You know, he wants to live a righteous lifestyle. Okay, so this is going into Moses. So he refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. That means he was going to be a part of Pharaoh's house, which means he's going to become a prince. So he refused to be a part of a royal house in a top kingdom, right? So he refused to be super rich. He refused to be of noble royal blood, so to speak. And you know, a lot of our people, they want to live like a king. They want to live like a pharaoh, right? They want to be a pharaoh. They want to live it up here in Babylon the Great. But Moses, he understood the end game of Egypt. He knew Egypt was going to go down. So why not pursue the path of righteousness? Why not just suffer for righteousness' sake? Because there's a reward for that, right? So this is verse 25, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Most High than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Because sin doesn't last forever, man. It's temporal. And this is Egypt in the spirit. America is Egypt. When you go into Revelation 11 and 8, it talks about that. It's spiritually called Egypt. So if Egypt went out with a big bang back then, how do you think modern day Egypt is going to go out now? It's going to go out with a big bang, because Egypt back then stood for wickedness, just like how America is standing for wickedness, right? So it's going to go out, man. Then to enjoy pleasure of sin for a season, esteeming the reproach of Yahushua greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who was invisible. Yeah, that's right. So he didn't fear the king of Egypt. He feared the true king, the almighty king, Yahweh Yahushua. Starting with the Father, because he's able to kill body and soul and spirit. He has that ability. So that's the one who you have to fear. And a lot of you people, you Israelites, you fear the king of Babylon or the king of Egypt. You fear Donald Trump. You fear the elite banking families. You fear what they can do to you. You're in fear of losing all your money, all your riches. You're in fear of losing your savings. Fuck that. Who cares, man? And also it says here in verse 26, the riches that we're going to receive in the kingdom by Yahushua and us being joint heirs is not going to equate to the treasures that you can receive in Egypt or in America. You know, and America has a lot of nice, pleasurable things, man. America has everything. Women, food, clothing, especially women. You know, there's a lot of stacked up women out here, man. A lot of dime pieces out here that you can get if you're rich. Like, you can have a harem for yourself. You can actually do that if you have the money. You can travel the world and do whatever you want. Eat exotic foods. all of that is not going to equate to what we're going to receive in the kingdom. Remember, the scripture says, in my Father's house are many mansions, man. And the kingdom is not going to just reside on the earth. It's talking about different solar systems and planets, man. You know, you inheriting all things, man. Because you can only go so far in this kingdom, in this world. You can only go so far. But in the kingdom, it's going to be everlasting, man. To infinity and beyond, man. Alright, so that's what I want. That's all I want from here. We get this. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 1. A good name is better than... actually, I want to start at verse 2 here. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. You see, the living, the one that is living, the ones that have this truth, that are inspired by the word. You are the living, and you'll lay it to your heart, because you realize that you shouldn't be in the house of feasting. You should really be in the house of mourning. Hey, America is the house of feasting, man. All you can eat buffets, shop till you drop. Everything is bigger over here. You can do whatever you want, do as thou art will. You can feed your flesh to your heart's content. But that is the end of all men. And that's why America is going to go out bitterly, man. Because you shouldn't be pursuing the flesh. You should be pursuing the things of the spirit, serving Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai. But yes, the living will lay it to his heart. You know, there's only so much sinning that you can do. Like, you can only so much feed your flesh until you destroy yourself, man. So the living will think and say, oh, you know what? It's better to just suffer and serve Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai to the very end and then get rewarded in the kingdom. Verse 3, it says, sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. You see that? So yes, being sad makes you better. See, and your heart is your mind. You know, so hey, it teaches you how to live. It teaches you how to get tough. Being sad. So yeah, it's good to be sad. And sorrow is better than laughter. You know why? Because it keeps you austere and it keeps you humble. Right? So it's good to be sad. So you're supposed to be sad if you're in the truth. You're not supposed to be fucking happy. And I'm not talking about you being troubled in the mind, you know, and teaching for strife. You know, every little thing throws you off. But yeah, you're supposed to be not happy in this place, man, because this place is not our rest. This place is polluted. What is there to be happy about? What are you happy about? Nothing to be happy about, man. Anyways, whatever. Verse 4, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. You see? Party, 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 party. A lot of Jake is in that spirit too. Party, party, party. Benjamin. Party, party, party. Dance, dance. Red Bull and rum. Smirnoff and rum. Yeah, man. Stupid, dude. That's Jake. That's Jake, man. Jake just wants to party and freak off. Alright, so yeah, man, that's it. So with that, I hope this was edifying. Till next time, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai B'Hashem Rakah HaChodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of GMS that do teach well, that have taught me this truth. To USC Shalom. This is Brother Gabar Ya'Allah. This is a voice of Jacob. Till next time, Shalom. Kwame Ashala. Abad Babal.